Previously on KC Timeshare. As you can probably tell by now, my friend did get offered a Rolex Steel Sports model, and I'll be making a video about his story, so do subscribe if you don't want to miss out. In this video, I will walk you through how my friend managed to pick up a steel Rolex Sports model within 40 days. I will also tell you about an issue that I had with my brand new GMT, and why I had to send my GMT back to my AD after having it for just one day. But first, I wanted to thank Smith & Rowe for sponsoring this video. I will tell you more about them later. Let's start with my GMT story. For those who didn't know, I registered my interest with my AD for this GMT Rootbeer a couple of months ago, and I got a call from my AD within 60 days. The way how he surprised me was very unusual, and I had a really good experience with him on this purchase. I've already made a dedicated video about my purchasing experience, and if you want to hear the full story, you can check out the link on the top right hand side of your screen. So, I left the AD as a happy man, but when I got home, that's when the horror story started. When I was inspecting my watch, I noticed something wrong with one of the links on the bracelet. A small area at the edge of a link seems to have a different finish to the rest of the link. In fact, it almost looks like the watchmaker has forgotten to fully finish the link. It is one of those things where once you have spotted it, it is really hard to unsee it. I was really disappointed about the issue, but since I didn't notice it when I was at the AD, I really didn't think my AD would take any responsibility, so I debated internally whether I should speak up to my AD. In the end, I decided to bring the watch back to my authorized dealer and to show them the issue. To my surprise, my authorized dealer was actually quite accommodating. After inspecting and acknowledging the finishing issue I have on my piece, they said they will check if other watches also have the same problem. If not, they can consider swapping out my bracelet for me. My AD then took out another GMT Rootbeer, and upon further inspection, we both noticed the same finishing issue at the exact same spot. My sales associate then checked out a few other two-tone pieces and said he noticed the same finishing issue on a steel and gold Submariner as well. He then suggested that it might just be the way how a two-tone oyster bracelet is supposed to look like. I initially thought it was a one-off issue on my piece, but now that the AD has confirmed to me that a few other pieces also have the same issue, I felt that I had some closure, but at the same time, I also felt a bit awkward, as my watch is a brand new piece from the AD, and yet it was not perfect. When I got home that day, it got me thinking, perhaps this was a manufacturing error in which Rolex might be able to rectify under warranty. I then decided to bring my GMT to the Rolex Service Center directly to see if there's anything that they can do about it. Funnily enough, the watchmaker who looks after me also has the exact same watch, and he found it surprising to see this issue. Upon further inspection, it was concluded that the finishing wasn't up to Rolex standard, and that the watchmaker also noticed the same issue on the other side of the end link, which I didn't even notice myself. I indicated to the watchmaker that because the watch was brand new, and it was only purchased from an AD just 2 days ago, I wouldn't want the bracelet to be refinished, and I asked if they can replace the links instead. Thankfully, the watchmaker understood my concern, and he said he would have asked for the same treatment himself if he was in my position, so he agreed to order replacement parts for me in order to resolve this issue. Because the links that have this finishing problem are not removable, the Rolex Service Center ended up ordering me 2 parts. One was the upper end link together with the 4 non-removable links, and the other parts being the lower end link together with the 3 non-removable links. I was really surprised that Rolex Service Center was willing to replace the 2 parts for me free of charge instead of refinishing them, especially when it was a two-tone bracelet. Anyway, I waited for about 4 weeks for the replacement parts to arrive, and I walked out of the Rolex Service Center as a happy man again. Although it took me quite a long time to fix this issue, I think it was well worth it at the end, as I don't think I would be able to stop looking at the imperfection had I just left it there. I think I would feel very differently had it been a scratch that was made by myself, but this was not the case here. Speaking of scratches, here is my Rolex Submariner, which has recently turned 5 years old. My Submariner had never been polished, and I would say that the watch and the bracelets are both in a very good condition if you ask me. You may ask, what is my secret? The answer is the way how I store my watches when I am not wearing them. I highly recommend you to check out this Smith & Rowe watch stand. It has a really soft leather cushion where you can rest your watches when they are not being worn. The stand also comes with a tray, which has a piano finish on the outside and soft fabric material on the inside. It is the perfect home for my keys and my wallet. Smith & Rowe also added a wireless charging function, so you can charge your phone or AirPods, which is a really nice touch. If you think the watch stand is a bit too bulky, don't worry. You can also store your watches safely in the Smith & Rowe watch roll. I have here the 2-piece watch roll and the 3-piece version. This 2-piece watch roll is the camel green version. I love the reflective pattern which changes under different lighting conditions. It also has an anti-scratch coating which helps the watch roll to stay new for a longer period of time. The watch roll uses buttons to secure the pillows inside. These cushions are nice and soft, and they can accommodate a wide range of wrist sizes. This 3-piece watch roll is what Smith & Rowe call the mustard version. I love the leather used on this watch roll. The anti-scratch finish on the camel green version has some kind of a waxy feel to it, whereas this mustard version has a very traditional premium leather finish. This watch roll was very well made, and you can see how nicely fitted the construction of the entire watch roll is. I literally cannot find any part of the watch roll that sticks out or looks out of place. I just love the attention to detail Smith & Rowe has, and it really comes through in these products. I highly recommend you to check out Smith & Rowe. Head over to their website after watching this video, and you can thank me later. Big thanks to Smith & Rowe again for sponsoring this part of the video. Now, let's get back to the story of my friend. The watch that he managed to pick up was none other than the Rolex Submariner date, and the best part was that he only waited for 40 days before he was offered this model. Let me tell you how he managed to do that. Shortly after I bought my Rolex Submariner date from my AD with just a 1-day wait, I mentioned it to my friend, and he indicated to me his interest in obtaining one as well. I then introduced my friend to my sales associate, and he said he will look after my friend for me. Within 2 months of picking up my Rolex Submariner date, I got a call from my AD, offering me the GMT Rootbeer that I was also waiting for. After picking up my Rootbeer, I reminded my sales associates that my friend is still waiting for the Submariner date, and he hasn't heard from the AD yet. My sales associate then told me not to worry, as my friend will be a very happy man when he is back from his holiday. When my friend got back from his vacation, he visited the AD, and my sales associate told him that he has something for my friend. He said the watch might not be the exact model that my friend was looking for, but my friend is welcome to purchase it if he wants it. He then headed over to the safe to bring out the piece. At that point, we were all guessing that the model my friend had been offered would be the Submariner, as that is probably the closest alternative to the Submariner dates that my friend really wanted. As the sales associate eventually reviewed the watch, we saw the black Submariner date sitting on the tray, and my friend could not be happier, as that is exactly the model that he was looking for. It turns out that my sales associate wanted to give my friend a big surprise, and to make his first Rolex purchase a bit more special, and therefore he came up with this idea on the spot. He said he would never offer a customer a piece as an alternative to something that the customer really wants, and that he will always try his best to fill the customer's wish list. Needless to say, my friend was very happy to hand over his credit card, and the rest was history. If you want to hear my story on how I bought the Rolex Submariner dates from my AD with just a 1-day wait, check out this video on the left. If you want to hear my story on how my AD surprised me with the GMT, check out this video on the right. But most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.